Oh, oh, what the?
Wake up, Fred. You know what time it is?
No?
It's your turn to pull the weed killer tanker, remember?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Rusty, but I've been having engine troubles recently, so I
Fred,
can't
just
really
stop
do it.
acting already. I already had to do it all by myself last year because of you, and I'm not going to do it all by myself again this year. If you don't get your lazy cab and less backside on the sheds for even 5 minutes, then we could take you apart and use your spare parts.
Ugh, but I don't want to do it.
Well, get used to it. The world doesn't revolve around you, you know.
But it's so boring and slow. Well, I suppose it's perfect for a slow engine like you. Rusty may be a smelly diesel, but at least he pulls his weight, he allows you good for nothing mistake.
Duncan is right. You need to come out of the sheds and do some work before you eventually start to rust away. It's shocking to me now how you haven't begun to rust already.
Fine. Well, at least I don't have to go very fast with this. I can just take my time and relax with this one. Although, whoever's up ahead waiting for me to pass by is probably gonna tear me a new radiator. Well, everyone, welcome to the first video of 2023 on this channel. I'm No Carlos, and yeah, I already gave the introduction. Welcome to the first video of 2023 again. And we're back with another episode of TNF Reviews. Actually, you know what? Why don't we change the name up a bit? You know, new year, new game, and plus I don't really just review, new items. Also do a couple of showcases on customs I made and all that, so TNF reviews and showcases we'll call it, or custom showcases. But yeah, welcome to another episode of TNF reviews and showcases. So today I'll be showing off an item that I made back in 2022, or near the end of 2022. So one of the Christmas presents that I got was clay, and since I got it, I decided to put that to the test and, see what I could do. I did a couple of tests on it with a few customs that I already had that, weren't really too accurate to their real life bases, or just on, other things I could have done with it. Like, for example, I tried to make like the body of another diesel, which is actually which is actually going to be the topic of this review or showcase or whatever. So without further ado, I present to you my custom of Fred/Hunslet. Why do I call him Fred/Hunslet? Well, I'll get into that in a little bit. So before we actually get into this review, let's go over a bit of backstory on him. So Fred is the number 9 engine on the Scarloy Railway in the Railway series. He's another diesel just like Rusty and is based off of the real life number 9 diesel on the Tully-Flynn Railway, known as Alf. I think found in the trivia section also, I also recall it saying that, like Alf, he was kind of named after someone called Stratford something. I honestly don't remember. You can go over there and check, have a look for yourself. But yeah. So hence his name Fred, and yeah. It's said that he's rather lazy and fakes engine troubles because he was apparently ill when he was. Because apparently he was ill one time, and Rusty ended up having to do the Weed Killer run for him. That was mentioned in the Railway Series book Weed Killer in the New Little Engine. So, apparently, unfortunately for Alf, he didn't really get many. In fact, he didn't get any appearances at all. He only got a couple of mentions, but that was really it for him, and yeah. So it sucks. We could have seen more of him. We could have seen or heard a lot more of him and all that. So, yeah, that's a bit of a bummer. Now I'll move on to why I call him Fred/Hunslet. So, while I was in the process of making this thing, I thought, why not make an OC out of it as well, so I don't only just use it as Fred, but I could use it as another character too. And I was looking up pictures of Alf for, a couple of reference photos. And when I was making an edit of this new OC, I managed to cover up the nameplate that was saying Alf, but not the name above that was above what would be the face of the engine. And it said Hunslet, so I thought, why not call him Hunslet? And yeah, Hunslet it was. So now you know why I call him Fred/Hunslet. And also it's because I'm going to be using him in another AU of mine that isn't really centered around Solo, so yeah. But for now, let's get into how I made this guy. So, as I was saying, I had gotten some clay for Christmas, some air drying modeling clay by Crayola. So I wanted to test it out on a few things, and the body of a Hunslet diesel like Alf, I almost said Alfred, like Alf, was one of the first things that I experimented with. I, of course, made the model with clay. Had to flatten it out a bit. Didn't really do too much of a good job, but I'm so proud with the results. Then I had to find a chassis for him. Now, a bit of a backstory on this chassis. I actually repainted it up before I even thought of making Hunslet. And I was gonna use it as a random trailer for like a road vehicle OC that I had. This idea came to me like after I filmed all the footage I need for the whole Roger saga that I was gonna do for my channel in October of last year, but I decided, I didn't really get around to posting the whole stuff all the videos to YouTube, like the tragic tale of Roger and any other side videos that I wanted to do, focusing on Toby and his brothers and Roger and all that. So after I filmed everything, I decided to, why not make this cargo car that I had laying around into the trailer for a road vehicle or something. And I was proud of it. It looks pretty cool, it still does, but I wanted to do more with it. And I guess this is the results. So, of course, the chassis was already painted up and everything when I got it, when I used it and all that. I also forgot to mention that before I used it and repainted it up to be the trailer that it was before, I also wanted to experiment a bit by taking apart some of my trains to make model more. So I used a couple of test dummies, and the said cargo car was one of them. And using my trusty dusty crusty musty husty lusty screwdriver. But anyway, using my screwdriver, I managed to take it apart. And and by take apart, I literally mean the top half of it, so yeah. Not much, but still a bit of an achievement. And then a while later, again, I repainted it, did it all up to be a trailer, and now it's Fred/Hunslet's chassis. So going back to the entire model itself, the night that I was working on it, after I waited for the whole body to, dry, I painted it with white out as like an undercoat. Then I colored it black with a black, then I used a black permanent marker to color it black. And then I was gonna add some buffer beams to the chassis as well. I have some new buffers to make it more accurate to, the basis and Fred himself. But one of the buffer beams kind of broke, and I didn't really want to go through the effort of making new ones, so I left it how it was. And after I did some, added the shade of the black permanent marker, I went about adding some details like the little red part right here where the nameplate should be, as well as where I think is like a little lamp that Alf and Fred usually would have, so yeah. Then I went about adding a little paper face, and honestly I really like how I did with the face. I'm really proud of it. To me it just establishes like a really relaxed, laid back and lazy kind of guy, but a very chill guy all the same, and As for his chassis, these parts, the little tips of the wheels used to be white, but I colored them red. And I used the Lego to represent the red flywheel that the basis and Fred would have, like right between their wheels. And yeah, that's Fred. That's how I made him. And now going into a little bit more about Hunslet. So, more personality-wise about Hunslet, because I haven't finished creating the whole backstory of him or anything. This AU is a bit of a work in progress, I will say that as well. But I will say that personality-wise, he is lazy, though not as lazy as Fred or Dennis are. And he does have good intentions and he does have good intentions to be useful, though he's a bit careless when he does his work sometimes and would often screw something up. But of course, at the end of the day, he does still have good intentions and wants to please everyone. Though it's hard to do so when he's, again, rather lazy. But thankfully, not too lazy to where he just sits around in the shed for God knows how long. How is Fred not... Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, how has Fred not even begun to rust? After wasting all that time just sitting in that shed not doing anything but watching the grass grow. Do they not maintain him? What? Anyway, so yeah, there's my review showcase on Fred/Hunslet. So, before I end this video, a few things. Number one, Happy New Year, Merry late Christmas, even though that's already passed by, and Happy New Year, even though I'm kind of late there, but, still, better late than never, And second off, I have a bit of a surprise at the end of the video, so just watch the end of the video. Just keep on watching till the end of the video, and you'll get a bit of a surprise. A blast from the past, I'll say, you'll call it. And yeah, I think that should be everything. And keep a lookout for more of this AU and Hunslet/Fred in it, or just Hunslet in it. Cause I do plan on doing that AU. I'm working on the lore of it right now. And also, I have painted up some more customs that I've made in the past, because, they look kind of bad, considering that I only used permanent markers back then, and it was beginning to fade, but still. And now that I've got clay, perhaps I can add some details that I couldn't have added before, so... Or I couldn't have added with simple cardboard, so yeah. So that will be all for now. I'm Noah Carlos, and I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.